Let's take just a couple minutes to talk about punctuation in the Gothic typeface. I'm going to draw some guidelines here because with many punctuation points, it's their position on the letter spacing helps you figure what they are. The main thing about punctuation is be sure that you're holding your pen at just a little past the 3 position. 3 in a scrunch is the technical term. So a period is quite simple. Hold your pen at the right angle and draw one simple diamond. Yay, period. Comma, almost that simple. One simple diamond and then a tail going back the other way. I toyed with the idea. I looked at other people's fonts and wondered about doing a comma and an apostrophe this way and decided no, this really does look a lot more Gothic-like when you do it that way. Now back up to the top of the letter guide is our open quote, which I hope you understand that open quote and close quote are 2 different symbols. The open quote is shaped essentially like a 6, and the close quote is shaped essentially like the number 9. Okay, I'll do these again in ink in just a few minutes and try to get them nice and neat. The parentheses, very simple. Just use the width of the pen to get these nice curves, skinny at the top, wide at the bottom, and vice versa here. Got it? Now the question mark is a little bit more fun than some of the others. And again, I did some research to find out what other people do with their Gothic question marks, and I adopted some and discarded some and created some and came up with this. First stroke is a curve, then a diagonal, then another thin diagonal coming down here to the middle, and another diagonal, and then of course the period. So you got that? That to me, it looks like a question mark and it looks very Gothic-like. Let me do it again. Curve, straight, curve, straight. Did I? You know what I meant. Curve, straight, thin straight, and then the little diamond, and then a period down there. Way to go. Keep me on my toes. Let's do an exclamation point, a dash, and an ampersand, and we'll be done with punctuation. So an exclamation point, again, I looked around and wanted to come up with something that could be done with the simple stroke, not adding something new to our repertoire, something that you can do with your C-nib. And what I've come up with is a very small S-curve, horizontal S-curve, way up here at the top of the letter. And then an elongated S-curve coming down, and then, of course, the period down here. So I think, again, very small S-curve, then elongated S-curve, and the period. Make sure this doesn't get too big, or it might looking like a 7 or a question mark or something else, so you don't want to do that. Keep it very small, and I think it looks like an exclamation point, and it has just enough flourish, just enough decoration that it looks Gothic, looks Old English, looks Fraktur. You got the idea. All those names. Now let's talk about the ampersand. No, let's do the dash first. And the dash, of course, it comes right in the middle of the letter spacing, halfway between the top and the bottom, and it's simply a shallow S-curve. Got it? Now let's do the ampersand, really the most fun of all the punctuation marks. And I don't think an ampersand existed back in the Middle Ages when Gothic was being used, so we've had to make up our own. I'm starting out with a fairly small curve. Start at the top, curve, then a larger curve. Let's go back to the top. A straight flag there. And then here we do a small S-curve, and then straight down from that, like the base of a letter J, perhaps to just below the baseline. There's an ampersand. By the way, I just for fun, you know that what does the ampersand come from? It's very obvious here. It's from the Latin word et, as in et cetera, which means and. So on, et means and. So that's where our ampersand comes from the 2 letters E, T. So it's always kind of fun when our ampersand actually looks like the historical word that it came from. Let me do that one more time. Curve, straight flag, longer curve, S, and straight down to just below the baseline. Now let's do all of these in ink. Should I draw more guidelines? I guess I will. Down here I should be able to fit all of these. If I don't get carried away, should be able to fit them all on one line. Let's say that's our letter height. Make sure I've got just the right amount of ink. There we go. So, period. That's it. Comma. That's it. Apostrophe. Same thing, right? Quotation marks. Very simple. Just make sure you're holding your pen at the proper angle and everything else will come automatically. Close quote. Then parentheses. One long curve. Open parentheses. Close parentheses. Good enough. Question mark. Curve. Straight. Thin straight. Diamond here. And another diamond there. There's a question mark. Exclamation point. Real small S-curve up here. Then a nice elongated S-curve. And a period at the bottom. Good enough. Dash. Nice graceful horizontal S-curve. And the ampersand. Curve. A little bit larger curve. Straight flag. Fairly small S-curve. Come on, pen. There we go. Trying to get this without getting back for more ink. There we go. And the bottom, just like the bottom of a J. There's an ampersand. There's the punctuation. Now you can quote people. You're almost finished. Let's keep going.